Hi, I'm Tiffany Stuckey with ArtsAltoona Live. Thank you so much for joining us today back here at the Mishler Theater. Today we're pleased to welcome JT Garber and Dana Snyder of Round the Mountain Music. As always, don't forget to subscribe to ArtsAltoona Live. So, to begin, you both have formed a production company called Round the Mountain Music. How did your company get started? Can you give us some background about that?
In a nutshell, I'm a native of the Altoona area, and Dana's a Nashville transplant, and she's been up here for a while now, and one day we're having a conversation. She just said, you know, the one thing I absolutely miss the most is the in-round style presentations of Nashville. It'd be amazing if we could do that here, and well, here we are.
And now, I don't know what that means. So what does it mean to do in the round? Could you tell us that?
Yeah, in the round, shows in Nashville are when the writers perform their original songs that they've written. So you may have only heard them by big stars on the radio, you might not know the names of the songwriters, but they perform acoustic and tell the stories behind the song. So typically, you know, they're 3 or 4 writers and they take turns performing the songs. In the round comes from, I'm not sure if it comes from that taking of turns or some theaters like the Bluebird, which people may have heard of from the show Nashville, the Bluebird Cafe. At that venue, the audience literally surrounds the writers. They sit in a circle. But most venues have just a typical stage like here at the Mishler, and so the writers are typically on stools, you know, just them and their guitars. They take turns playing songs and they tell the stories behind them, the inspiration for them. And I just think it's magical. It's just a different type of experience.
Absolutely. So now on February 22nd, Round the Mountain Music is bringing a show right here to the Mishler Theater. Could you tell us a little bit about the show and the artists that are performing? Because it is the round that you were just talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, so we have 3 amazing writers coming on February 22nd. Travis Meadows, Aaron Enderlin, and Levi Lowry. So these are all hit writers. They've played songs that you may have heard on the radio if you're a country fan. And they're also all incredible artists in their own right. You know, they have their own albums and things. Travis has written for Eric Church, Dierks Bentley, Jake Owen. Levi's written for Zach Brown Band. Aaron's written for Leanne Womack. It's just an incredible, incredible batch of people that we were able to bring together for this first show. So they'll be playing the songs that people have heard and telling the stories behind them, you know, what motivated them to write. And sometimes those are funny, you know, somebody's stepmom said something and, you know, it inspired a song. And sometimes they're just really heartfelt, you know, they were going through a tough time. Travis has an incredible life story that he'll share pieces of, overcoming addiction and a lot of tragedy in his life, and so you see that come out in the music as well. So it's a very different experience. It's definitely a listening experience. Right. You want to speak about?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've been to some of these in the round experiences in Nashville, and until you get there, it's not a concert. It's not a show like you traditionally think of it, and there's such an intimacy because a lot of these writers know each other. They've written together, they've performed together, and a lot of times, like if you go to the Bluebird, most of the time the one writer is a host, and he invites the other 2 or 3 that are there, and so there's a chemistry that's hard to explain until you just experience it in the room, and it's one of the things that made us so excited about doing this in the Mishler. This is certainly bigger than a 100 or 200 person gathering, but it's not a stadium. It still has that sort of magical, intimate feeling to it.
An analogy I would make is if you could go to the art museum and the painter was standing there telling you what they were thinking about, it's that kind of experience. You often don't know where a song came from or what that spark of inspiration was.
Yeah, and you hear songs differently when you hear the story behind it. And they're all great performers in their own right. And what I mean is, like, they have a presence. They emote. They really emote what was behind it. So it's amazing.
Now, how would people find out more about Round the Mountain Music? Do you have a website or?
Yeah, we actually we have a website right now, Round the Music roundthemountainmusic.com.
So roundthemountainmusic.com, so you can check out, and there is a little bit about each of these artists that are performing on the February 22nd show, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So roundthemountainmusic.com. Now, what made you choose Altoona, Blair County as a home base?
Well, probably the easiest answer is that my roots are here. I graduated from Bellwood, and I've certainly been involved in a lot of Altoona stuff, and almost all of my family hails from Altoona. And, you know, I had been in the Mishler as a kid and just sort of remembered that magic that was here. And, you know, we couldn't think of a better place. We came down and talked to the Blair County Arts folks, and it was just like, this is it.
Right.
So we met some various people in ArtsAltoona as well as Blair County Arts, and it just was a fit. We wanted to be part of what's going on here. I mean, it was just like instantly getting excited and just seeing that, like, this is it.
This can happen.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, who or what do you feel has been your biggest inspiration?
Wow, that's a broad brush.
Your whole family is artistic, so.
There's a lot of forms of inspiration, I think. You know, I'll get real granular for this particular circumstance of Round the Mountain. She's actually inspired me a lot because she's written with these people in Nashville. So it's not like she just picked up the phone and found who she could find. She has personal relationships with a lot of these folks, and so it puts me a level closer to, I don't know, I'd have to say for me that's it, because it's more than just, this is not a business transaction. Like, this is something really real and sort of organic. And for me, it started with her being that close to, because of her proximity to like the whole writing scene in Nashville. So for me, that's it.
Now, how did you get started in writing with?
I mean, I've always written, you know, it was poetry before I knew it was song lyrics, but you know, not the level of success that the folks that we're bringing. You know, I have not had that personally, and it's not about me in that regard. But that did allow me the opportunity, as JC said, to connect with folks in Nashville. You know, I've seen the folks that we're bringing up many times, and the folks that we hope to bring in the future, and there's just a connection there. I think what made me miss this type of show when I moved up here was that it's almost like reading someone's diary or something. It's that human connection that, you know, I enjoy listening to the radio and, you know, singing in the shower when I'm getting ready, like we all do. But this is, when I hear someone share something that they've created, there's just a level of connection there that it's hard to explain. You know, I just hope people come out and experience it, because that's what I crave, is like, you know, I'm one of those people that buys every album they can get their hands on and listens to every cut to the final one and every track, and music just, I don't know, it just
really connects people in a way that doesn't always bear description.
Well, you guys just answered my next question, because I was going to ask you about how music is important to our society, but absolutely, it's definitely like ties into that passion and creativity. So,
and I would urge people, even if you think you're not a country music fan, we're bringing people from Nashville, please don't let that scare you from coming to the show, because it's not going to be the kind of, it's not going to be what you hear on country radio, and that has its place, and I'm a fan of that. But it's just going to be a different kind of listening experience, and I think anybody who appreciates music, period, is really going to enjoy themselves. And you know, if not, you know how to reach us. But please, you know, give it a chance, because I think some folks are scared just by that country label, but also all the folks that we are bringing up are not contained to that country genre, whether it be more rock, more folk, more Americana. I mean, they're creators, and so,
and sharing their hearts and passion.
Yes, and you know, especially this first show, all three are very true to themselves as writers. They're not just writing songs that they think that, you know, the radio is going to cut. They're playing songs that they feel passionately about. Travis Meadows has a cut called "What We Ain't Got" that we all want what we ain't got, and it's a Jake Owen song that nobody would have thought would get put on the radio, and it did. And but he wrote it because he needed to write it at that point in his life, and so it's not all trucks and girls in cut-off shorts. It's not those kind of songs. None of those have their place, and songwriters need to put dinner on the table, so they have to find a balance. But I think folks will really enjoy the variety, and they'll hear things they haven't heard and songs that they love and remember.
And this is going to be a really balanced show as far as what each artist represents as far as style and taste. And they're all kind of in that, same church, but maybe slightly different pews. Travis has a very unique sound, as does Aaron, and Levi has his own. I just think it's going to be a really balanced show. They're called the Travelers on Travis's social media, but we were posting this morning, and people on there were just going nuts because of the balance. I mean, these are people that know these folks, and so they were in awe of the lineup. So I think it's going to be amazing.
Yes, so mark February 22nd on your calendar. Don't miss the show. To finish up, do you have any future projects in the works? Anything coming up after the show? What's the plan from here?
Well, I mean, we're already lining up consecutive dates, in the beginning of 2018, and we're already talking to more writers and artists. So.
And they're very excited about this venue. The Mishlers is amazing. And so, as JT said, we're working on dates for the rest of 2018, and the writers that I know from Nashville are they're very excited. This is not somewhere that they've had the opportunity to play before. So we hope that people come out and prove that this is something that the community wants to support and will enjoy, and we're pretty sure of it, but if we can fill the seats, that'll mean more shows.
And I think it's worth stating that even for the writers and the artists, it's not just as a business transaction for them either. When they come and they're received, they want to come back, regardless whether they're paid the same or more. That's what artists want to perform to, is the receptive crowds.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you guys for bringing this to our community. I am very excited. So again, mark your calendars, February 22nd, right here at the Mishler, for the Round the Mountain Music show. And so now, audience, it's your turn to share. I hope that you will join in the discussion by leaving a comment below. Did this video inspire you? Do you too have a relevant story to share with our subscriber community? If so, let us know. And if you haven't had the opportunity yet, please like this video and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube and on our Facebook page at ArtsAltoona. We have a weekly newsletter that has something for everyone in Blair County and beyond. And thank you, audience, for your part in ensuring that everyone knows how amazing the Blair County community is and about the people and organizations like JT and Dana with Round the Mountain Music that strive to make it that way. We hope to see you next time on ArtsAltoona Live.